certain qualities और I may say कुछ ऐसी characteristics हैं जो मुझे लगता है every aspirant if each aspirant has those qualities, I think it makes it much easier for you to crack the exam. It makes the journey a lot simpler, as compared to the entire grind that you have to go through. I think that is probably the difference between. Of course, I think there is there's some element of luck, of course, in cracking the exam. I personally feel there is. I'm sitting here. A large part of the credit goes to how lucky I am. But I think it is also very important to understand that there are certain inherent qualities. If you are able to learn those or imbibe those in your character, that will really help you into cracking this exam, or at least not be intimidated by the entire process of this exam. So, like for example, I think every aspirant needs to, like I have already said, that once you start out in the journey, you need to have a very clear frame of mind as to what exactly you want to achieve, how you want to achieve once you clear the exam. So the journey has to be planned, not just till the time the exam is cleared and you go to the academies and you get a good rank and you become an officer and then you have no plan. So I have seen a lot of people who only have plans till the time they clear the exam, and after that they're completely lost in the field. So it may be true, you are fortunate to clear the exam, but probably you are not suitable to be in the service. Like this is not the life you imagined for yourself, and that is simply because you have not given it a proper thought. You have not sat down with yourself and you have not given it a proper thought as to what you wanted to do and why you wanted to, why you wanted to become a civil servant, why you wanted to choose a particular service. So if you do not have that clarity of mind, then it might become a bit difficult for you. You may be lost when you go to the field, in that particular job, when you're sitting in that chair. So that clarity of mind has to be there, and that will simply come to you if you give it a little thought about what exactly you want to do and how you want to do once you clear the exam. So that thought process has to go way beyond your journey of clearing the exam, and how you wanted to see yourself as a civil servant, how you want to see yourself as an officer, what exactly will constitute your own success in your own eyes as an officer. So that clarity of mind has to be there, and I think that will make things much easier for you. You will suddenly start looking at things in a much better, much different perspective as compared to what you were doing earlier. So I think that is one advice that I have for the aspirants. Apart from that, I think it is very well understood that this particular exam, it's very uncertain. So you may be brilliant, you may be super intelligent as to what is being taught, you may be aware of everything that is happening around you, you are super dedicated also. But what quality really gets tested here is your perseverance, is your commitment, is your how adaptable, how you are handling the adversity around you. Like how are you able to handle the failure? What is your reaction in pressure times? What is your reaction to difficulty? So that is the foremost quality which is being tested there. So you have to be prepared for the worst. I always tell aspirants that this whole preparation journey, even the training in academy, it's always all of it is done by UPSC as well as the academy to prepare you for the field. So if you have that kind of perseverance, if you have that kind of commitment to your cause, why you want to become a civil servant, and then you stick to it, if you put in enough hard work with enough dedication, then you will eventually end up becoming a really, really good officer in the field. But the point is, you have to be motivated enough to get through that phase of disappointment. Like even in my case, when I was really disappointed after my third attempt result, when I could not clear the prelims exam, the only thought which, like I said, which kept me going was the fact that what I had set out to achieve, I probably could not have done it to that zeal, to that scale with where I was. In my personal opinion, in my personal achievements, I could not have called myself successful in my own thought. So that clarity of mind has to be there in my mind, and I could see that I had that perseverance and that commitment to see myself through this journey. Patience is another quality which is very, very important. For example, so a lot of us, like even in my batch, I think 70% of the officers were there who took more than one attempt to clear the exam. I think probably 80% of them. And that simply says that it's not easy. Like it's a journey of an entire year, right? You keep on preparing, and ultimately you will see that you missed out by a mark or two, and that is the biggest disappointment in your life. But you know that you have to keep yourself going, you know, and that really tells you about the quality of being patient. You know, you have to be patient with your own self. You have to be patient with your own with your expectations about your own self, कि आप अपने आप से क्या चाहते हो, वो कब कितने समय में पूरा होना चाहिए, उस पर कोई डेडलाइन नहीं होनी चाहिए. यू नीड टू गिव योर सेल्फ मोर टाइम. ये जो लोग कहते हैं कि 23 साल में बन गए तो बहुत अच्छा अचीव कर जाओगे, 27 साल वाला अचीव नहीं कर पाएगा, दीज आर ऑल मिथ्स, यू नो, विच यू नीड टू गेट ओवर ऑल दीज फैक्ट्स कि किस एज में शुरू करना है, किस एज में ऑफिसर बनना अच्छा होता है. There is no age bar to a good officer, you know. You can get into the service at the age of 40 years and do commendable, outstanding work and be called as one of the best officers that the country has seen, or probably the world has seen, you know. So you need to be very, very clear about all these things in your mind, and I think thus the clarity about the process, the clarity about what the exam demands, and what more than that, I think what the service demands in general, it will go a long way in sustaining you to become a good officer, in taking you through the process with much greater ease as compared to what you would have imagined yourself to be, and it will become much easier for you, the entire process. When you go into the field, I think एक quality है जो सबसे ज़्यादा important है, and I think which really keeps you in good stead is being accessible to the people. मतलब बहुत सारी चीज़ें लोग बोलते हैं कि आपको अच्छा लिसनर होना चाहिए, आपको हैंड्स ऑन होना चाहिए, आपको सेंसिटिव होना चाहिए, सब कुछ होना चाहिए. All these things are important, but I think the biggest quality that a good officer has is being accessible. I will share my personal experience. So when I became an SDM, I started in a place where I was the first SDM to sit in that place, you know. So people were not aware of an SDM SDM sitting in that office, and so in the first 20 days when I was just sitting in the office trying to clear files, listening to people, and you know, trying to plan out what I wanted to achieve, and it was a short tenure of just about 7 weeks. So when I set out on that task, in the first 20 days I had hardly 1 or 2 visitors each day, depending on the issue that they had. But I always kept my doors open for people. Whoever wanted to visit me could come and visit me, you know. So when I actually we undertook a huge drive in which people got to know about that there is an SDM who started sitting in this office. And I could see that by being accessible to the people, there were a lot of people, there were about, I think, 30-40 people who used to come to meet me every single day. And everybody had a different problem, you know, which either I could not even solve, but they expected me to solve it. But anyway, the biggest thing that I could gain by doing that was two things. One, by just listening to them, by being accessible to them, I realized that they themselves felt that half of their problems were solved. And two, by just listening to them and being accessible, I could get to know so many problems which were existing in my place of work, which otherwise I would not have gotten to know. Like my staff would never have told me about the issues that people were facing, and probably I could do something to rectify, you know. So those, I think, biggest achievements of being accessible are these two, and I think they really made the job much easier and really make administration citizen friendly, if I can put it that way. So I think that is very, very important to understand, and one of the biggest qualities of an administrator, I think, is being accessible, irrespective of the office that you are holding. But listening to people, helping them out, and being accessible really helps in the job itself. I think another big challenge that every officer has to face in the field is handling pressure and being adapting to the situation that is put in front of them. So प्रेशर में सबसे पहले दिमाग में जो आता है वो होता है पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर को कैसे हैंडल करना है. आई थिंक देयर इज जस्ट टू थिंग्स दैट नीड्स टू बी अंडरस्टूड बाय एन ऑफिसर, एंड आई थिंक फिर वो पॉलिटिकल प्रेशर बहुत ही अच्छे से हैंडल हो जाता है. वन thought that needs to be clear right at the outset, even I think at the level of at a time when you are an aspirant, is the fact that you have to stop looking at political representatives as adversaries to an officer. Like हर politician आपको आके आपको गलत काम करने को बोलेगा, ये thought process ही गलत है. Like you need to understand that there are two different spectrums of two very, very important pillars. One is the executive, another is the legislature, and they are working together to improve the lives of the people. Like this has to be the ultimate premise that you have to start with. Like when I was in the field, I always had this positive mindset about the politicians. So I used to keep on interacting with them. And when you interact with them, you understand that they have, like, you go to a place to work there for about 2 to 3 years, right? But a politician, a local level politician also has worked in that area for about 30-35 years. Like how can your experience ever match to the plethora of knowledge and insights that that person may have about the field, you know, about the local jurisdiction that he may have. So if you start engaging in a constructive discussion, interaction with the politicians, you might get to know about so many interesting ideas, so many fields of area which are important, but you may fail to realize, or which you may not be able to come across during your stint there. You know, so it is very important for all of us to look at politicians as constructive agents rather than disruptive agents of the administrative setup. And by doing that, you will resolve half the problem of the political pressure, as you may say it. But even if that is the case, I cannot rule out the fact that there are certain instances where you end up in tiffs with politicians. Like it has happened to me a couple of times, you know. And in that situation, it is very important to understand two things. One, whenever you face a situation where you are either in a verbal conflict or a administrative policy conflict with a politician, two things are very important. Like that whatever you put on the file is ultimately what is being conveyed through the administration. Like the politician cannot force you to sign on something, right? So you need to understand that either try to talk to the politician and find a middle ground. If ultimately it is for the people that you both are working, right? So if you cannot find a middle ground, then whatever you think is right has to be put on the file in writing, and that gets conveyed to the people as well as the higher administration, right? So ultimately there is no point in engaging in a verbal conflict with any politician, any level of politician ever, even like local politicians, MLAs, MPs, ministers, whatever level of politicians it is. Even when you get phone calls for giving favor to this person, that person, just don't react to it, you know. So the first rule of dealing with political pressure is not to ever engage in a verbal conflict at all. Whatever you have to do, say it on the file, try to find a cooperative solution. If you cannot find a cooperative solution, do whatever you want, but do it on the file, but never say anything through your mouth in words, right? That is very, very important. But I think, like I said, if you do the first thing well, if you engage with the politician in a constructive manner, if you have a certain image that carries that gets carried with you, no person will ever dare to come and approach you for doing something which you may not find morally right, you know. So it is very important to understand that sometimes it may also be possible that you are just looking at certain thing which the politician has told you, that you just think that this is not right, but if you just try to discuss it with them, you yourself might be forced to change your opinion about it, right? So by engaging in a discussion, a cooperative discussion, you might be in 90% of the times out of 100, you will be able to identify a solution which is a win-win for both sides and which ultimately ends up benefiting the people, right? So you need to be very, very open. You need to keep an open mind about dealing with this kind of a situation. Another big problem, big challenge for all of us is adapting to different situations. Like there can be there can be surprise transfers, different postings. Some postings are considered good, some are considered bad. Even when we go to the field, seniors will tell us, अच्छा ये posting अच्छी है, ये posting खराब है, तुम तो बड़ी अच्छी posting जल्दी मिल गई, तुम्हें तो नहीं मिली. So you get exposed to all these things. But one thing needs to be really kept in mind, and I think this was told to me by a 2016 batch IS officer. He was also posted in Nashik when I was posted there, and he told me very, very rightly that it's in fact more exciting to work in a place which is not considered lucrative because nobody has worked there, right? So the challenges are much more, and the kind of independence and the exposure that you can get by working there is much, much higher as compared to, let's say, working in Mumbai. You know, what will you gain by working in Mumbai so much that, so the kind of sense of satisfaction that you have by working in backward areas, rural area is much higher, as compared to working in urban setup of let's say Mumbai. Of course, you have to work in Mumbai, but you should not refrain from working in places where nobody else wants to live. So if you work in those areas, ultimately you will end up getting experience which nobody else has, and that experience will really help you in good stead. So kind of adaptability, adapting to that difficult circumstance just by accepting the fact that this is part and parcel of the job. And there is one like for everything else in life, there is a law of averages. Ultimately, if you look at the lifespan of any officer that you look around in your life, the average of a good posting and a bad posting will be more or less the same for each officer. So it's a very well given argument, very well stated by many officers, that if you do good work, it will end up getting recognized at some point or the other, and you need to just keep on working and not look for good postings and lucrative postings, and just focus on the work that you want to do, and eventually you will get the satisfaction that you're looking for in the job.